Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Poets and Quants' online MBA panel, Navigating Online MBA Admissions. Today, we're joined by admission experts from 3 elite programs, Illinois Gies, UNC Kenan-Flagler, and IU Kelley. I'm your host, Christy Blyzeffer at Poets and Quants, and please feel free to use the Q&A function to submit any questions you have for our panelists. I'll do my best to get to those at the end of the session. Well, let's begin by getting to know everyone. Please introduce yourself, your school and MBA program, and the best part of your job. Tim, let's start with you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. My name is Tim Byrne. I'm the Director of Admissions and Financial Aid for the Kelley Direct Online MBA program. The best part of my job is meeting, although it takes a lot of time, the thousands of applicants that we see. It's really great to see a wide range of experiences and folks coming from lots of different backgrounds interested in online programs. That's truly the best part for me.
Very good. Thank you. Casey.
Yeah, thanks, Christy. My name is Casey Jones. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions for graduate programs at the University of Illinois Gies College of Business. I'm going to kind of echo Tim, representing our online MBA program, just meeting the diversity of students that we have applying, over 100 countries represented in our online program. So that's always really fun to get to see and hear individuals across the globe, across a variety of different industries, learn about their experiences and why an MBA is going to impact their career. So just echo that same sentiment of getting to know the students and that diversity of the cohorts.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And Laura.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Tremaine, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions for UNC Kenan-Flagler's online MBA program. And I think it's just true for everyone in admissions. We get into this job because we love meeting students and we love hearing their stories and understanding their goals and just talking them through what the next steps are and how an MBA is really going to positively impact their career. And I enjoy talking with students before as they're deciding about their MBA programs. And then once they enroll in our program and they come on campus for an orientation or a summit, it's always so fun to see people in person and really develop those relationships and then see them, years later at events and different things. So it really is an ongoing relationship that we get to build with these students. And I really love that part of my job.
Very good. Thank you all for taking the time today to really give us, some insights into your programs. Casey, I'm going to start by throwing the first question to you. Why don't you just start with a general introduction about Illinois Gies, your mission, values, location, reputation, that kind of thing.
Sure, absolutely. So our online MBA program is known as the IMBA. I always like to ensure you nothing on your transcripts or diploma is going to state that the program was done online, but we do refer to it as our IMBA just because of the delivery mode. We launched the program in 2016, really with an intention to disrupt the MBA market. And we've done that in a multitude of different ways, but one is the price point is very differentiating from a lot of programs that you'll find. Total cost, tuition, and fees included is under $25K for the full program. We've built this program to be at scale. So we, as I mentioned, we see learners from across the globe, across a variety of different levels of industry and experience. And we do feel that diversity in our cohorts is very important. Our program is a combination of asynchronous and synchronous learning. So we do partner with the Coursera platform to offer kind of the foundational component of our courses, that virtual textbook, as you will. But then we partner that with live lectures. A lot of group work is very central to the curriculum. We're located in Central Illinois, the flagship campus of the University of Illinois. We have no requirements to come to campus at any point in the program, but we do have optional in-person experiences, an annual event on campus each year called iConverge, and then also immersions globally and domestically that allow you to really put your learning into practice and further those networking connections. In terms of curriculum, we have 4 core specializations that all students complete in the program, and then a series of 6 focus specializations, which students can choose 2 of those to really specialize the degree to their desired outcomes and interests.
Very good. Thank you. How about Laura? Tell us a little bit more about Kenan-Flagler.
Sure. So our mission statement at Kenan-Flagler is to build and inspire business leaders who make the world a better place. And we foster learning as a lifelong journey by creating and delivering rigorous, relevant thought leadership and building a community committed to our shared values, which are integrity, inclusion, innovation, and impact. So we have 5 different MBA formats, 4 that suit our working professionals. So we've got our online MBA. We also have an evening MBA in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as well as a weekend program there. And then we have recently launched a program in Charlotte, North Carolina. So students have a variety of options for their MBA. And of course, we do have a full-time program in Chapel Hill as well. Our faculty teach across all of our MBA programs. So our faculty are all dedicated Kenan-Flagler faculty, and they love working with our working professionals because those students are actually in the workforce, doing jobs the next day after they have class, sharing experiences. And it's really fun, I think, for them to work with those students and have those great discussions in class. So all of our programs require 62 credits for completion. About half of those are electives, and we offer a wide range of electives, especially in our online program. Students can complete up to 1 or 2 concentrations, although they have full flexibility and they don't have to do that. So they can really just take the courses that they're most interested in, or they can settle in on something to really dig deeper into. So that's just a little bit about our program, and I think we'll probably get into more of the specifics later.
Well, let's just do the specifics real quick. What is kind of the, the balance between synchronous, asynchronous, and kind of the clubs and cultures, externships that are available to the online community?
Sure. So our program, you can complete your MBA anywhere between 18 months up to 3 years. And we have 4 start dates throughout the year in January, April, July, and October. So lots of flexibility. We have rolling admissions. So students are always applying to a start date and getting a decision once they complete their application within about 2 to 4 weeks. Our program is a mix of asynchronous and synchronous classwork. So our students will take a 90-minute class every week, 1 or 2, depending on how many they choose for each quarter. Those classes are mandatory. So because of our program, we have a large program that has really small class sizes. So at most 18 to 20 students in every class. That includes your core classes. So when you come to class, you're on camera, you are participating, you're breaking out into small groups. You have a very almost in-person experience in those classes. So that synchronous component is really an important part of our program. And then you're going to have asynchronous work throughout the week. And that work is going to be made up of watching videos, reading assignments, doing group work, lots of group work in our program. And that work will prepare you for the class the following week. So it's a really good balance of that type of learning. And I think it suits people who prefer maybe that in-person engagement. You really get that in those small size classes. We offer many different types of experiential learning opportunities in our STAR program, which it allows students to team with a group of 5 or 6 students and work with a faculty member and someone in an industry in a real life consulting project. And we also offer many global opportunities. So we have 4 summits every year that we offer, 2 in Chapel Hill, 2 international. These are weekend-long programs that are in person and allow students to really dig deep into how business is done, maybe in Zurich, Switzerland, if it's offered there, or Cape Town, South Africa, which we were just in. So very unique experiences and a great networking opportunity for our students, and also a lot of fun. You learn a lot about the culture of those places and really get to know your classmates well, too. So lots of opportunities for global electives and just a wide range. We offer a little bit of something for everyone.
Very good. Thanks very much. Tim, tell us a little bit about IU Kelley.
Thanks, Christy. Yeah, the Kelley Direct Online MBA program, I like to think of as a great companion to the entire set of Kelley degrees that we offer and our full-time MBA program as well. What I tell students often is that our program is effectively the exact same thing, except you don't have to be here in Bloomington with me and go to the classroom down the hallway. You just get to be online. So it's the same faculty. It is a faculty member that teaches every part of your course. They grade your papers. They hold office hours for you. They provide feedback. They provide coaching, all of those things. You have academic advisors that you would have expected to have found if you moved here and were with us for 2 years in person. And that, I think, is a real hallmark of the Kelley Direct program and really complementing the entire set of student experiences. We are similar to other programs in the sense that we are technically hybrid. We have 2 in-residencies that we require, one early on when you would come to campus, and we're sort of just beginning your program, and then a second one that we put in rotating locations throughout the country. So last year we were in Milwaukee. I am personally very excited to be attending and helping run our immersion in New Orleans this fall. So we're really excited about providing unique opportunities for students domestically to gather that doesn't have to be in our campus. Love our campus, love our town, but we want you to see it and also experience some other parts of the country as well. And the big hallmark, I think, too, is similar to what Laura was mentioning with UNC is what are your live classes like? What does that look like for you? You know, we try to, and I try to tell all of our applicants, you know, we have an attendance expectation. Things happen. You're an adult student, you're working and, you know, whatever, you got kids' soccer practice that runs late. That's great. Okay. But really, you should be planning to be there every night and engaging in those core sessions, having a live class discussion. You know, I think I see in the chat, and I'm sure everybody else who is considering an online MBA program is thinking about what is the network? What is the value in that sort of brand? What am I going to get out of that? You have to choose a, you know, program that you're going to really actually get that. So I think we do a really good job of trying to make sure that when we're bringing in students that want to get the most out of their MBA experience. They want to build their network. They want to learn from people from diverse backgrounds and different experiences, and they want to share that on a rolling basis throughout. So, you know, I think that sort of philosophy, you know, I think you asked initially sort of about mission and values. That's how we enact them at Kelley Direct. And that's a big part of the experience that we try to offer and what we try to curate for students in our online MBA program.
Yeah. How are the online MBA students at IU Kelley kind of engaging with the clubs and getting more involved in the culture of the business school, that kind of thing?
Yeah, what's really great about us, for a long time, we've had a student leadership association that has been really active, and it's a malleable group because they develop sort of sub-channels, whether you're interested in digital marketing or maybe you're a veteran that's you know, switching into the private sector, wherever that may go. And then as things change, we develop new subgroups and subcategories to move people onto things. So everybody, I'm sure, is asking, like, what's happening in AI and digital technology, and we need to be on the forefront. And we're right there with you. Let's do it. Well, where's our greatest sense of resources and knowledge? It's the other, for us, you know, a little over 1,000 students in our online MBA program that have a wide range of experiences. Some are working at Microsoft and, you know, trying to launch Copilot. Others are at a totally different type of industry trying to figure out, how can I get this for my team? And can we increase productivity by 10%? What does that look like? So that's a really great part, I think, of us is our student community is really engaged. And our Student Leadership Association is something that's malleable to work with emerging trends each time, and they use their own resources to kind of encourage their own group learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey, did you have anything to add about kind of how the students at Gies are able to kind of, participate in clubs and the larger general business student community?
Yeah, absolutely. So we also utilize a social media platform hosted through Meta, which is kind of a general water cooler for specifically our online students. We do have opportunities to engage with learners on campus as well, but typically those demographics look pretty different. So most of our online students are engaging with other students in our online portfolio, which are working professionals that are experienced. So in that Meta platform, they can join groups and subgroups, whether formal or informal, based on courses they're taking, industry that they work, interests that they have outside of the classroom and outside of their MBA or professional experience. They can also join subgroups based on their geography, and we often see student-led meetups in person coming from those connections as well. So we also have the IGBA, which is our online graduate business association. So they help facilitate a lot of those conversations and really form that connection between the student body and our faculty and leadership team as well to continue those progressions forward within the program. So lots of opportunity. Our students can also partake in Illinois Business Consulting, which is one of the largest student-run consulting organizations in the country. And so again, an opportunity, that's where we can connect to a little bit of our online students and our on-campus students as well. And then, as I've mentioned, we do have our large annual event on campus each September. It's called iConverge. We typically see 400 to 500 of our online students come to campus, get a feel for, the classrooms and the atmosphere of campus, do a tailgate, do some professional development, as well as that all important networking.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Tim, going back to you, can you talk a little bit about why diversity in a graduate business class matters so much, particularly in, role, function, industry, background, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is that your network for your MBA, unless you're odd, is going to be your only network. You're only getting an MBA once. So you really want to make this count, right? I don't think I need to reemphasize that to people on the call here today, but that means you want to tap into a network, hopefully, that is something that can live and grow with you as you live and grow in your career. You may be working in a sort of accounting firm right now. Who knows if you're actually going to be doing that in 10 years? You could be doing something wildly different. And so having those resources at your fingertips is so widely important. And so that diversity, I think, really becomes really valuable. And that diversity happens across lots of different spectrums, geolocation and industry and years of work experience, right? Some that are maybe younger, older, more experienced, seasoned professionals. But it also is important to toot my own horn, the volume there, that you don't just have one person that you know from your cohort that works in finance. You actually have 120 people that work in finance. And within that, then 30 work on the East Coast and 15 work in corporate valuations, which is when you're moving into your M&A team next year, you're really excited about. Now your network is really, really working for you. So your diversity, I think, matters in so many spectrums, but it's about providing you an opportunity to live and grow with you as you live and grow, not just while you're in your MBA program, but long afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Laura, same question. And how is it beneficial to learn from, a diverse cohort in the classroom or in an online MBA classroom?
For sure. Well, we know we live in a very globalized business world, and our students need to learn in that same type of environment. So having a diverse cohort full of students from very different backgrounds who have different perspectives just gives students an opportunity to think differently, to do a lot of self-reflection and personal growth and really to challenge themselves. I think everyone who's getting an MBA is looking to grow and to develop their skills and learn new things. And so having that opportunity in a diverse cohort, which I think, a lot of MBAs have, is, really essential to getting an MBA. So our program does a lot of work in helping our students develop those certain skills, those soft skills, problem solving, empathy, communications, all of those things that will help our students to just take in different perspectives and think differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And Casey, do you have any thoughts on why diversity in the cohort is so important?
Yeah, I think my colleagues here have really described it well. We live and work in diverse cultures. It's really interesting when you put an engineer and a marketing manager together in the same group project and see how they approach things. And it, when you work with a group of individuals who all have a similar role and function or work for a similar organization, they tend to have similar thoughts quite frequently. But when you bring together those different perspectives, it really opens up a new lens of perspective, and that's incredibly valuable. I think it's really one of the it's a really key aspect that an online program offers that sometimes a traditional in-classroom program does not offer. I know, we've actually suspended our full-time and our professional MBA programs here on campus for a variety of reasons, but because we were bringing together a lot of individuals from similar backgrounds. And to Tim's point, that's great if you're going to stay here in Central Illinois, but if you change your career in 5 to 10 years, having that very global, diverse perspective can be life-changing. The other thing is it opens a lot of opportunities for people who are job searching. We instead of trying to find the one sole colleague or classmate that works at Amazon, you put out a post and say, I'm looking for new opportunities. Can anyone share their experience with me? Vice versa. Students that are recruiting for positions can do that through the online platform as well. And it's really real time because, again, we have working professionals in the programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all. Our next question ties really well into one we got from an attendee, and it's all about kind of finding that program fit and how you really kind of go about assessing a school's, values with your own kind of personal and professional goals. What advice do you have for people that, are school searching right now and how to align their professional and personal goals with the right school? Casey, we'll just stick with you.
Yeah, I think number one, you're doing it right here, attending a variety of different panels, learning about different schools. I would traditionally say talk to alums, although I saw your comment there in the questions, and I'm going to find you some different alums to talk to. But I do think really connecting with current students and alumni to get that experience is a great way to go about it. Our team's always happy to connect you specifically with individuals from a specific industry, or if you're looking to transition into an industry, we can do that as well. I think one of the really cool things about online programs as well is a lot of times you can test it before you buy the full product. So I know at least in our programs, you can take the asynchronous content on Coursera in advance of joining the program. And if you do, we're going to recognize that work that you've already done. We have mock live classes. We have one coming up in a couple of weeks where you can really get the experience of learning directly from the faculty member and see how engaging it is, do the breakout sessions, and have the group discussions, come back in and present that to the larger group as a whole. We do a lot of still traditional in-person recruitment. So we'll have lunch up in Chicago quite frequently, or when we're traveling across the US and internationally. So we'd love to connect with you in person as well. And then finally, we have full non-degree or graduate certificate options. So you can actually take a full 4-credit course in advance of applying to the program. Get that full experience, make sure online learning is right for you, make sure this program is right for you, and then take those credit hours and stack it right into the degree program.
Yeah, thank you. Laura, what kind of, fit advice do you have for searchers?
Yeah, I mean, Casey, of course, touched on a lot of good things that I would speak to as well. I think I always tell prospective students to talk with different people in fields and in jobs that they're interested in, and hear from them what advice they might have about, what skills they need, how their MBA experience was wherever they went. Just the more people that you can talk to, and the more that you can think about what your goals are and what you really want out of a program, the better time you're going to finding the right school that can meet those goals. So a lot of self-reflection. Also, definitely researching the programs. I know that we all offer a lot of opportunities for that. At Kenan-Flagler, we have numerous open houses, application webinars, times to sit down and just talk with myself or another colleague, and hear, get your specific questions answered. We're also happy to connect you with current students and alumni. And I think that that's so important for you to do for any program you're interested in. Is talk with those students and get the real inside scoop on what it's like to be a student in the program, to make sure that that's the right place for you. And then also sitting in on a class. So we do a mock class as well, and that's really a nice time to get a feel for things, but also sitting in on an actual class. So you can connect with your admissions counselor when you're in the admissions process, and you can attend a class and participate and feel how it would really feel to be in that class. So just giving yourself time and doing the research and talking with as many people as you can is important.
Thank you. And Tim, what do you have to add?
Well, I think Laura and Casey both did a really great job of broadly all the things that you and many students are considering. And there's lots of dimensions. For some, cost is the be all end all. And I respect that. This is also a financial choice. I want our students to learn good financial skills. You should make that decision too for you. I can't speak enough, I think, to the finding alumni or current students, people to talk to hear the words from their mouth. They're not, typically paid or anything. So if they don't have a good experience, or they're not able to speak to certain things that you're really important to you, then it's not going to be a good fit for you. We do a great job. I should have said, actually, my favorite part of my job is using our LinkedIn page to repost students when they graduate, and all the great things that they say and all that sort of stuff. And that's that's really the best part, because I see everybody at the very beginning, and they're really sort of thinking through it. And I'm here and around, and we do our in-person courses and stuff, and I meet the students after they get started. But when it comes 360 full circle, and at graduation they're there, and we get to capture some video with them or do something, that's really, I think, telling of the experience. And that experience goes way more than just debits and credits in accounting or corporate valuation or anything. That it's a lot more about the people and the network that you're building along the way. And I think tapping into those current students, those alumni, to hear it from their voice, it's out there in the world too. Every customer review feedback is wildly influential. And I think we take great care in making sure that our students do have a good experience. That way they do provide that feedback to prospective students in a full life cycle journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we'll move on to a topic I think a lot of the prospective students are really interested in, and that's career outcomes. I think that's, a lot of what's on top of mind for a lot of the searchers out there. Laura, kind of tell us about some of the OMBA outcomes that you see at Kenan-Flagler, any trends that you perceive in the coming years, and some of the considerations students should think about when they're making their school decision.
Well, I think a lot of things are changing, as we've seen since COVID, and workplaces are changing. The way that we do business globally is changing. And so I think it's really important that we are preparing our students to think differently about how they're going to interact with people online, more virtually, in these hybrid cultures, thinking about the different challenges that are involved with that, and having the skills necessary to be able to pivot and make changes in their career as jobs are coming and going and different things are happening so quickly. So I think, you know, we try and really focus on those skills. And so our students are learning the skills so that later on they can upskill themselves so that they can pivot into new jobs and ways of doing things. So I think thinking about kind of the way business is changing, that it's much more global than it's ever been. And again, that diverse cohort and that network of students. When you join Kenan-Flagler, you will have your online MBA network, but then you also have the complete Kenan-Flagler network. And I see all the time students, you know, searching for Kenan-Flagler grads online, reaching out to them. They always say, you know, within hours, I have an email back from that person offering to connect me with someone else. So really using your network and building those networks is going to be really important. So I think taking advantage of all the things that a program has to offer, really putting yourself out there and making that effort while you're in the program, and then realizing that after the program, it doesn't end there. This is one step in your journey of lifelong learning, and the MBA is a really great step to take. But you're going to have this network available to you. You're going to have career coaching in the program, and then lifelong career coaching to really draw on to have those resources and that community. So I think, you know, those are big things that students need to consider and just take advantage of when they start their MBA.
Right, absolutely. Tim, same question.
Well, I think it's a very important question, and one that has a complexity of answers. And what I would tell any prospective student is, you should ask all the schools that you're considering for your specific situation. For me, what could you be doing? Can you share with me a student like me that has made this happen for them? Because that means some schools are better than others in other ways. And while it's never fun, I actually try to be way more honest than I can up front to let you know, like, I don't know that that's possible. It is hard to be a high school social studies teacher and then become an investment banker. If you see it on there, like you're watching CNBC, that's great, me too, but that's a really hard change. And if you want to do that, okay, but there's a long journey to get there. So if you ask that question and you ask like, okay, well, I'm already a district manager of sales for our auto supply company, and I'm in the southeastern part of the United States. How has somebody in a medium sales role gotten to a vice president of sales? Can you share with that? Can you connect me with a student in that experience? If they're able to provide that, then you're able to start to actually see yourself and those outcomes come. But the outcomes vary widely. You know, we have a wide range of people. Some folks are trying to do a very sort of harder career pivot. Others are just kind of waiting around. Others know that like, well, I can't be promoted. HR has said I need to have MBA after my letters. Okay, well, if that's your only goal, totally fine. How are you approaching your program then? What is it that you want to get out of it? Do you just want the letters? There are places that can do that for you, or are you trying to get other things? And speak to those with the different programs you're considering. And if they're able to provide that for you, then you'll feel so much better about making that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey, any advice in terms of career outcomes?
Yeah, I think this really is a personal reflection of what you're looking to get out of a program and what you're looking to do with your career, and then helping to determine whether that program is going to fit those needs in terms of specific skills. When we interview applicants, more and more say, I don't need an MBA. There are individuals that do need the MBA because the job requires it, right? HR says so. But I think there's more and more that don't need the MBA, but really are after the personal development and really acquiring the skills. And those are the students that we love to talk to in interviews. This isn't like it was, you know, sometimes we question, oh, your undergraduate GPA was a little lower than expected. can you tell us why? And they'll just say, I wasn't passionate. I hadn't found my niche yet. I didn't understand. I didn't value the learning. And so I think that's what's special about an online population in particular, because they do tend to be a little bit older. They have found themselves in a lot of ways. And so they truly value the education. And I think you see that reflected throughout the coursework, through their group projects. They're bringing work to the classroom and they're taking the classroom immediately back to work. And that's really important. So I think most of us here probably don't measure traditional career outcomes like a full-time MBA program, because these are working professionals, but we do look at the percentage of students that receive a promotion or new job opportunity while in the program. We have metrics on the average ROI or percentage of increase that students receive while in the program as well. And so we'd be happy to provide that for you. As others have said, we're happy, again, to connect you with current students or alums who do have a similar journey or are looking to go on a similar journey as you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to pivot for a few minutes to some viewer questions and some questions that were submitted by prospective students previously. But can each of you kind of tell me about any kind of full ride or substantial scholarship opportunities at your institutions? Laura, how about at Kenan-Flagler?
So every student is considered for a fellowship when they submit their application. There's nothing that you have to do in addition to that. And we look at every application and award fellowships within a few weeks. With our working professional programs, we do not have full ride fellowships the way our full-time program might have. But we do work with our students to find other ways to figure out how to pay for the program. We know it's a big expense and that's a huge consideration. And we work with a lot of employers on funding opportunities that their students can get. So it's a thing that we work on together, but we do offer many fellowships and that definitely helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey.
Yeah, we partner with Coursera to offer a very limited number of scholarships that cover up to 70%. They do cover 70%, I shouldn't say up to, of the tuition for our IMBA program. These are really looking at students that have very significant financial need. That is the primary factor that we're looking for these scholarship opportunities. And then we do offer 2 Forte fellowships. So we partner with the Forte Foundation, which is committed to enhancing women in business. Those cover $20,000 in tuition for 2 recipients each cohort.
Great. Tim?
Yeah, unfortunately, I would just tell this person, Kelley does not offer that level of scholarship. Typically, the most that we're able to award is about $25,000 in sort of total scholarships. And with about a $95,000 price tag, that does leave a pretty significant gap. And we do, much like Laura was mentioning, and I think Casey would as well, work with any applicant to understand what does the billing structure look like? What does the student loan process look like? How could you strategize to maximize, hey, my employer is giving $5,000 per calendar year, so how does that line up with what classes I would need to take with you? We'll absolutely have those conversations, but it is unfortunately just limited offerings for us in terms of total scholarship value that we can offer.
Great, thank you. Casey, going to another user question. So if you were someone considering an online MBA, what would you be doing now, knowing kind of what you know from the admissions process?
Sure. Again, I think, you're in the right place here by just learning more about programs. We see students take a long time to make this commitment. It is a big decision. I think we've alluded to it quite a bit, but talking with current students and alums, sampling a class if you can, going to campus if that's feasible. And then also I'd say just diving into what what concentrations and elective courses are offered. Do I value that in-person connection? And if so, what does that look like? Am I required to be on campus at certain points in the year? Is it optional to be at some of these opportunities? Is synchronous learning very important to me? Asynchronous? I'm a spreadsheet person, so making that spreadsheet and weighing the pros and cons across the board is important. I think the other piece that we haven't hit upon yet is the application. I would just say making sure that you are reviewing the application requirements for the particular program or programs that you're applying to, and ensuring that you're providing the materials that fit that program. So we don't want that standard essay that didn't respond to the questions that we asked. We want to get to know you, and we want to know why this program is a good fit for you. So that is important as you're moving into that step of the process.
Yeah. When you say, the student connection and finding students is that something the admissions office helps with, or people, should they be going on LinkedIn and just doing searches for that?
Yeah, so we certainly are more than willing to help with that. We have a form on our website. You can fill it out and share with us a little bit about yourself and what type of student you're looking to connect with. We also do a variety of just investor office hours. So if you're not ready of making the step of doing a one-on-one connection, you can just join those office hours and listen into the student experience, and then maybe follow up and do that more direct connection.
Yeah. Laura, do you have any insight onto kind of some of the resources that you recommend candidates looking at?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good resources out there online with everyone's websites, with all of these webinars. So I think there's no lack of that. And I think it's good to connect with a school and have them connect you with a student, but I also think it's good to organically look at these networks on your own too, because that's a good way to see, in the industry I'm looking into, wow, I see a lot of students that went to this school, and I'm going to reach out to them and see what their experience was. I think sometimes taking that on your own self really gives you that kind of feel for what that community is, or organically, versus it being an admission led thing to do. The other thing I was thinking of, just generically, like preparing yourself to start your MBA, figuring out, wow, this program is going to take some time during my week, and so what kind of time do I have, and how am I going to build in 15 to 20 extra hours to be doing my schoolwork for my MBA, and getting the support of your family and employer, and just really making sure that that time is right for you, and that you've thought about how you're going to work this into your life. So those are just some other considerations I think it's important to start thinking about, giving yourself plenty of time throughout the process, because our admissions process is pretty similar probably to most. There are a number of items you have to submit. There's essays, getting transcripts in, letters of recommendation. So giving those people plenty of time to write a letter for you, finding the right people to write a letter, thinking about who knows you most, your manager who can speak to your work. And then also we require an interview. So all of our applicants will have an interview. Again, this is just a great time for us to get to know you, for you to tell your story, why you want to do your MBA, what your goals are, why Kenan-Flagler, all of those things. It's a fun time. I think everyone usually enjoys their interview. It's not meant to be this stressful, high intense, throw you for a loop question, but it's really just a conversation and a positive experience. So giving yourself plenty of time to get those applications in to all the schools you're interested in, so that you also have time to consider your options, talk with people afterward, and then have time before you start the program to prepare.
All right, thank you. Well, Tim, one last question. If you could briefly kind of maybe talk about how online MBA are able, how they're able to keep the curriculum fresh and evolve to, really emerging topics like AI or sustainability.
Yeah, well, I think that is going to change and be different for every school. I think our philosophy at Kelley is one that is built on a core foundation throughout your first year, which is also sometimes some bad news I have to deliver students, which is our first year in our program is not really flexible. Like you are going right in, and much like we would with our full-time MBA students, you're taking operations and marketing and finance, and you're taking all of them together, and you're taking them with the faculty member, and you're going to do homework, and you're going to do readings, and you're going to have assignments and go to class. It's a lot to handle. And then trying to develop your curriculum afterwards, I think looks a little bit different. You know, we have half of ours is sort of electives. We also have specialty courses, our faculty, and it's part of a Kelley thing and an IU thing, although I'm sure, you know, other programs and universities operate under similar fashion, which is our faculty can make new classes anytime. And they can propose new classes, and we can offer them without having to go through a sort of truncated review process and some other things. So when we have a faculty member that's on the cutting edge of AI research in supply chain industry, for example, let's say, they can take their connections from industry, what they're researching on, what they're doing, and then cultivate it into a new class. And we could be running that class in our next quarter in 5 or 6 weeks. Right. And we can run it as an experimental course, and it can count as your elective. It can count towards certain majors for us. We have that sort of flexibility that I think allows us to make sure that our content and items are fresh. And then that's what we're able to do when we tap into the 135 faculty members that teach in our program, is that you can take a digital marketing class, but it varies differently across 3 different faculty members. And those faculty members have their own sort of niche experience or background that they're bringing into it. And so you could take a same class as somebody else, but you take it with a different faculty member, it's going to have a different flavor. And I think that's a really great part of our program, and probably part of many programs, is that you can start to really sort of specialize, and you start to navigate the space, you know, a little bit more about you and what it is that you're trying to learn and get out of your online MBA.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelley, last question. Is it admission folks that can help with candidates kind of answer this question? Should I be pursuing an online MBA, a part-time, an executive MBA? Like, how do they walk through those decisions? What program is right for them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a big part of any prospective students in their research. I would really, broadly speaking, my general advice is to challenge the notion of an executive MBA. I think it's a sort of laggard term from what was happening in the early 2000s in the online space, and that, well, the only people that were going online were executives. They couldn't sort of quit their job or move their family. Everybody else did that residential MBA early on. That's just not the environment we live in now. Lots of students at young ages are going through an online MBA program. So if you're looking at an executive MBA because you're either already in an executive role or very close and approaching that, great, I'm thrilled for you. Ask that executive program what makes it executive. Because if it's just that it's online and you can watch some videos, that's not an executive MBA. That's just a asynchronous MBA. Very, very different. So ask prodding questions. Ask those questions that really align with you and who you are, where you are right now, where you're wanting to go, and find those stories. And if the program can't provide you those stories, then it's probably not the program for you.
Yeah, great. All right, Laura, tell us the best way for people to get in touch with Kenan-Flagler to learn more.
Great. Well, on our website, there is an email address that you can click on, and you can get in touch with us. When you start an application, you will immediately be connected with an admissions counselor who will get in touch with you, and they will be your point person through the admissions process to answer any questions. You can email me. We are always available to talk with you. And again, we host many webinars, open houses, and application sessions. So that's another good way to engage and learn more about the program.
Great. Casey.
Yeah, I think the first stop would always be the website. You can learn more about the program. You can sign up to join an email list and see all the upcoming events, sample those live classes. Also on the website, you can do that student ambassador connection form. We have a new experience that can kind of walk you through based on some responses to your questions as well, and tailor the experience to specifically the information that you're looking for. So I always encourage people to start on the website and then certainly connect with our team via email. There's a chat bot if that is preferred. You can do a one-on-one admission counselor meeting as well. And then again, just attending more of the information sessions, the ambassador chats, all the different variety of ways that we have to connect in today's world.
Okay, thank you. And Tim.
Yep, our website also very great. It has opportunities there to schedule calls, so we can fit around whatever your time and availability is as well. And I would, I think our website there's great, has lots of great student stories and perspectives. I'll give another shout out because we've worked so hard on our specific Kelley Direct Online MBA LinkedIn page, where we're sharing student stories every day, whether that's a class, a promotion, their reflection, to see what students are saying actively for their own networks, and they're sharing it pretty freely, I think speaks volumes about the type of experience that is out there.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for your time, experts, and insights into these 3 great programs. And for all the viewers out there, be sure to check out all our other panels with other great schools that we've had yesterday and today. They're on our YouTube page or at poetsandquants.com. You'll also find a wealth of online MBA information at our websites with articles, videos, and more for really anywhere you are in the journey. Until next time, thanks for listening.